So as a lot of you know, I've been wanting to adopt a dog for a while now. I started looking at the end of last year. I want a miniature schnauzer because I know and I love the breed. Our family dog is a miniature schnauzer. She's back in New Zealand. I've contacted heaps of breeders in Australia, recently a breeder in Melbourne who told us to get back to her on the first week of June. We called her yesterday and no luck. She's already given the puppies away and she's keeping one for herself. Just so disappointing. Dan told me when I was at work, he called her and I had to have a little power cry because I just felt really emotional about it. I'm a very sensitive soul, you've probably noticed that. I think mostly I was just quite frustrated. It's just such a long wait, and the anticipation, and you start to get your hopes up and romanticize it in your head. And then when it fell through, I was just gutted. But we did have a big chat about it last night, and we're just like, okay, this is what's happened. The universe is probably trying to tell us something here. Maybe wait it out. Like, I don't feel super confident as far as financial stuff goes, just because work's been a bit quiet and it hasn't been very fruitful lately. So maybe it's more of a smarter move to kind of look at it as a long-term goal, because dogs are obviously incredibly expensive. So yeah, it's not going to happen soon, but it will happen. But there's still this part of me that's really longing for an animal. I grew up with animals in the house. Like I'm so used to that. And when that presence is missing, your house doesn't quite feel like a home for me. So we've decided to get a kitten, which is so exciting. We contacted a place called Wet Noses in Mount Gambier, which is a non-profit, like a adoption organisation. So they take in strays and animals who have been hurt or mistreated, and they care for them until they are adopted. I called them yesterday and told them that I was looking for a male. I like males because I've had better experiences with them over females. It's probably a bit of a generalization, but I found them to be a bit more affectionate and a bit more chill, but that's just my experience. So they ended up bringing a couple of kittens around last night, so we got to meet them and have a little play. And one of them in particular, I looked at him, he looked at me, we had this moment, and I knew that he was my dude. So we're getting him tomorrow, which has happened so fast. But yeah, it just feels right. I went to the pet shop today and got all set up, got everything he needs. And yeah, tomorrow he comes, he joins our little fam. And I really wanted to document it because it's such a special time getting an animal. So can't wait for you to meet him. Kitten should be arriving any minute now. They're actually a little bit late. I feel really nervous for some reason. Dan was like, why are you nervous? And the answer is, I don't know, I'm weird. It's just the anticipation. I just want it here. Anyway, talk to you soon. Alright, quick little kitten update. Day 2, He's doing so well, sweet boy. Yesterday he was pretty freaked out, understandably so, and he kind of hid in this little cube bed thing that I brought him for like a few hours. So I just kind of went in and would talk to him for a bit and give him a little cuddle. Eventually he got brave, ventured out, and yeah, he was really, really cuddly, which is kind of what I love in a cat, and quite clingy, which I love too. The needier the cat, the better. And he just kind of like lay on the couch with me for ages, and then I put him back into the laundry, which is where he sleeps. And again today he's been pretty wary. He's just over here. He's been pretty like nervous of his surroundings, but he's just getting so much more confident. And we even had people over before, and he was just playing with his toy and being such a good boy, which is crazy for a kitten because they can take like a week, 2 weeks to even like venture out of their hiding place. So it's been a dream. Here he is. Hey, Albert. Oh, his name's Albert, by the way. You're a good boy. It's just been so fun. Just so nice having a little man around. Yeah, that's a little update. I'm so tired though. I just had the most anxious sleep. I've just had really bad anxiety the last few days. Nothing really around the cat, just like work stuff, just financial worry. As I said earlier in the video, just like work not being particularly fruitful, but I think I just need to remind myself that it's like super early days, and it is what it is with your own business, you know, like it's not easy to begin with, and you just got to keep cracking at it. So yeah, I feel a lot better. I just can't wait for a big sleep tonight. But yeah, just wanted to like, I don't know, talk about the fact that I get anxiety quite often, and it can affect my sleep and just kind of my day to day. And it can be quite debilitating at times, but there's definitely ways that I get around it. Talking is probably the main thing. If ever I'm worried about something, like I just talk it out. Dan is a very good listener, as well as my family. And then just like exercise, as always, just like something about moving your body that just, I don't know, clears your head. But yeah, need to talk about anxiety more because everyone's got it in some degree. Hello again. It has been a few days. Albert is currently sitting on my lap as I record this. We've nearly had him for a week, which is wild. It's gone by so fast. He's such a honey. I love him already so much. He is so much more comfortable in the space. He's really trusting of Dan and I. He particularly loves me. He follows me around everywhere, loves to sit on my lap. He has like crazy bursts of energy in the morning, like most kittens do, but then by the afternoon he's chilled out a little bit, which is so lovely, and then he sleeps on me in the evening. But yeah, he's such a little dude, and it's just so nice having an animal around. So yeah, I'm really happy. He'll be featuring a lot in my upcoming videos. I just wanted to end this video by talking a little bit about like strategies and things that I do when I have anxiety, because I did mention I've been a little bit anxious lately, and I've had anxiety to some degree for, you know, most of my life, I suppose. And through the years, I've kind of picked up ways and little things that I do to kind of get through those days and to alleviate it. So I wrote some down on my phone, and I thought I would share them, and hopefully they'll be helpful to someone. The first thing I wrote was eating mindfully. And this is twofold. The first being like, when I have a meal in front of me, to kind of take the time to look at it, to smell it, and then to properly taste it. So to eat slowly, to think about the texture, and yeah, take my time with it and kind of like honor honor the meal. I usually enjoy it so much more when I do that. When I'm feeling anxious, I tend to just devour food. The other thing with eating mindfully is to choose food that's going to honor future Gemma instead of just kind of taking the easy, simple option, which can sometimes be food that doesn't necessarily agree with me. When I'm feeling anxious, I don't really like to put a lot of effort into my food. I want comfort and I want it quickly. And because I have IBS, that can really affect my gut, obviously, and then that affects my anxiety. So it's like making the choices which might take a little bit longer to make, but I know that in the long run they're going to make me feel a lot better and give me more energy instead of getting something fast and quick and usually delicious, but it could leave me feeling really sluggish. So yeah, eating mindfully and just being really conscious about putting good food into my body. Delicious food always, but yeah, just making the smart choices. The other thing I wrote was getting fresh air. This is hugely important to me, and when I say that, I don't mean like going out for a big walk or run. I mean like simply going outside. When I'm anxious, I like to hibernate. I want to be by myself. I don't really want to talk to anybody. My default is just to kind of isolate, but getting fresh air, getting outside, having some, wind against your skin, feeling the cold in the winter at the moment is so good. It just kind of makes you feel alive. It makes you connect with nature. It kind of, for me, puts everything into perspective. I feel like nature has that effect on me. It's just so, so important. So fresh air when you're feeling like you just want to stay inside and hide is the best thing ever. Books over screen time. Again, I can easily get into a bit of a phone rut and find myself just scrolling through Instagram like all of us do. Like it's highly, highly addictive, and I'm absolutely 100% addicted to my phone. Like I will say that, I can really, really admit that. But I feel like over the last few months I've just been a bit more mindful about it, and when I'm in one of those like Instagram holes, I just kind of like laugh about it, accept it, because it is like it's a form of self-soothing for me, and then just put my phone down and I pick up a book instead. And that's what I've been doing lately, and I feel so much better for it, because even if you aren't consciously like comparing yourself or I don't know, consuming stuff that is negative, like it's just wild how anxiety inducing scrolling through social media is. So I love to do it, and it's a big part of my job as well, but I'm really mindful about how much time I spend on my phone, so I pick up a book instead. It's that same escapism thing, but it's in a more kind of productive form, I suppose. The next one I wrote was talk. I spoke about this earlier in my video, but whenever I feel worried about something, I have to talk it out. Whenever I hide things or keep things to myself, they just become so much bigger than they need to be. You have to talk about your problems, and I know sometimes it can feel like you're the only one who feels a certain way, or that somebody won't relate to you, but believe me, people will totally understand. Doesn't matter what's going on with you. Find the right person, someone you trust, someone you love, and people are always so willing to listen. And people have a lot more empathy than we give them credit for, I reckon. And yeah, I always find as soon as I say something out loud, it really just takes the power away from that thing that I'm worried about. So talking is extremely, extremely important. Gratitude and journaling. I've spoken about gratitude lists heaps of times on my videos. It's something that I've gotten into the habit. I've been doing it for maybe a couple of years. I write a few things that I've been grateful for during the day. In the evenings, it takes me a minute, sometimes less than that. And it just, I don't know, gives me that moment to reflect on my day and to realize I have so much to be grateful for no matter what is going on. And even if it's something as simple as like having food in my fridge, having a house to live in, having heating in the winter, that is so much more than a lot of people have. And it sometimes puts my silly little troubles into perspective. Journaling is another thing which I admittedly don't do enough, but there's something super powerful about putting pen to paper, and it can really kind of just take everything that's sitting in your head bubbling away, putting it down on paper is kind of, yeah, it kind of lifts it a little bit. I've always loved journaling. I wish I did it more often. It's one of those things I'd love to get into the habit of doing, like I do my gratitude list. But when I have been in a good routine with it, it's incredible, really, really powerful. So it's another recommendation. Another one I wrote was to do something for someone else. So basically like an act of service. This is incredibly important because I feel like we spend a majority of our lives thinking about ourselves to some degree. And when you do something for somebody else that's selfless and you don't need anything in return, you have that moment where you don't think about yourself. And there's something so gratifying and so lovely about just doing something for somebody else and not needing anything in return. Yeah, it takes you away from yourself, and it's just having that like human connection and kindness, which is always just so needed. So yeah, do something for somebody else. Do something pleasurable, do something that you love doing, take yourself away from whatever you're worried about, and that can be whatever you like: knitting, cooking, singing, dancing, whatever, just something that makes you feel happy, that fills you with joy. Yeah, do something pleasurable. Last thing I wrote was to choose happiness. And I know that sounds a little bit lame, but personally, I'm somebody who can ruminate and water the weeds a little bit, and kind of gets comfortable in sitting in discomfort, which is not a nice place to be. And when I kind of make this decision that I'm going to have a really good day today, no matter what happens, because I can't really control life, but I can definitely control the way that I respond to it, and kind of making that positive decision, like first thing in the morning or whenever, is really uplifting. So it's just kind of like making this decision to choose happiness. I hope that makes sense to some degree, but I find it really, really helpful just to kind of be really aware of the fact that I have control over my emotions. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video here, but I hope you're doing wonderfully wherever you are. I'm sending lots of love to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Say bye, Baba.